We are told that King Solomon was the wisest man who ever lived, a man so enlightened that God basically gave him a blank check to ask for anything in the universe, and Solomon chose wisdom. But if you look at his actual life, it doesn't look like wisdom. It looks like a cry for help. Let's talk about the numbers. The Bible says Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Think about the math for a second. 700 wives means 700 families. Imagine having 700 mother-in-laws. That is a level of psychological warfare that even the God of peace shouldn't wish on anyone, not to mention the 300 concubines that don't even pretend to be marriages. If Solomon wanted to spend just one night with each woman, it would take him nearly 3 years to finish the rotation. That's not romance. That's a residential city for your own dating pool. Church paints Solomon as a philosopher king, but he was a hoarder. He wasn't collecting wisdom. He was collecting people like Pokemon cards. He spent his entire reign building a harem so massive it required its own zip code with zoning laws. Eventually, the Bible admits that his wisdom failed him because all these wives convinced him to build altars to other gods. God explicitly warned kings, don't multiply wives, don't worship other gods. Solomon knew this. He literally wrote about self-control. And then his wives and concubines say, hey, can we build temples to our gods? And the wisest man alive goes, sure, sounds good. Peer pressure. 1, divine wisdom. 0, God gave him the cheat codes for life, and Solomon used them to create a logistics nightmare so complicated he ended up worshipping a statue in his own backyard just to keep the peace at dinner. Fascinating. Apparently 1,000 people can overpower God-given wisdom. So much for omnipotence. Remember, this is the man quoted in sermons, the man used as the gold standard of wisdom, and his story ends with idol worship, God being angry, and a kingdom that immediately falls apart after he dies. So let's ask the obvious question. If this is the wisest man who ever lived, then what does stupidity look like? Because this isn't divine brilliance. It's impulse control failure.